Don't start this narrative. Aliyah Boston asks for grace for Mississippi State player after Juju Watkins injury. The landscape of women's college basketball was shaken recently when Juju Watkins, USC's rising star and a phenom whose name was being etched into the legacy of the sport, went down with a devastating injury during a tense, high-stakes game against Mississippi State. It was a moment that silenced arenas, stunned fans, and brought a promising season to a screeching halt. But amid the swirl of confusion, pain, and rapid-fire speculation, one voice rose above the rest, not with condemnation, but with compassion. Aliyah Boston, WNBA star and former collegiate standout herself, stepped forward in a moment that demanded leadership. She wasn't on the court that day. She wasn't even in the building. But her words cut through the noise with the sharp clarity of someone who's seen the game from every angle and understands what truly matters. She issued a plea, not for justice or punishment, but for grace. Her message, "Don't start this narrative." Boston's powerful statement came as a direct response to a growing online storm. Almost immediately after Juju Watkins fell to the court clutching her knee, camera angles and fan speculation began dissecting every moment of the play. All eyes turned to the Mississippi State player who had been guarding Watkins at the time. Blame was being cast, harsh assumptions were made, and the digital lynch mob, as it so often does, was quick to assign motive and malice where perhaps there was none. But Aliyah Boston wasn't having it. She saw the brewing discourse, the rush to vilify, and the way some were twisting an unfortunate moment into a storyline of cruelty and intent. And she knew she had to speak. In a heartfelt post shared across her social media platforms, Boston urged fans and media alike to pause, reflect, and resist the urge to manufacture a villain in a moment of raw human emotion. Her words weren't just a PR move or a calculated message. They came from a place of deep empathy and personal experience. Boston has been on those courts. She knows the intensity, the unpredictability, and the split-second decisions that define every possession. She understands the pressure young athletes face, especially women, especially black women, when they're under the scrutiny of millions. And she wasn't about to let the narrative spiral into something cruel and unjust without speaking truth to power. "Don't start this narrative," she wrote simply, yet profoundly. That was a tough moment for everyone involved. Let's not turn it into something it's not. Her words resonated instantly. Within minutes, her post began trending, drawing support from fellow athletes, coaches, journalists, and fans who recognized the importance of her intervention. The Mississippi State player, whose name we will protect here for the sake of dignity and empathy, was suddenly at the center of an unwanted firestorm. But Boston's defense became a shield not just for that player, but for the integrity of the sport itself. What made Boston's words so impactful wasn't just their content, it was their timing. In the social media age, narratives are often shaped in the first few minutes of a viral clip. Before medical reports are issued, before context is gathered, before truth is even available, the world rushes to judgment. Boston knew that. She knew how fast reputations could be destroyed by misinformation. And she used her voice to stop a tidal wave before it could crash. This wasn't about excusing negligence or denying that something unfortunate had happened. Boston never dismissed the seriousness of Watkins' injury. Her heart, like the hearts of everyone who loves the game, ached for Juju, a young player who had electrified fans with her passion, power, and precision. But Boston also knew that there's a difference between a tragic accident and a malicious act, and she wasn't going to let that line get blurred. The injury itself, captured in slow-motion replays and dissected frame by frame on sports shows and Twitter threads, was undoubtedly gut-wrenching. Watkins had been sprinting down the lane, trying to make a play that she had executed flawlessly 100 times before. The Mississippi State player closed in, defense tight, movement quick. Then, contact. A twist. A fall. And silence. The arena went cold. Teammates rushed to her side. Coaches knelt in concern. Trainers waved urgently for help. The crowd held its breath. Everyone knew instantly that this wasn't a simple bump or bruise. Watkins' pain was real, visible, and terrifying. But what happened in the minutes and hours that followed was a different kind of tragedy. As Juju Watkins was rushed for evaluation, the narrative online began to twist. Screenshots circulated. Slow-motion videos were taken out of context. Armchair referees began making declarations. The term dirty play appeared in more than one post. And then, the floodgates opened. Accusations, name-calling, threats,